This country is at war. Do you understand that? We are at war right now. And yes, I'm using that analogy intentionally because the republic is falling apart because the truth, we are at war for the truth. And you're being told by people with power, pens, websites, and mass audiences a series of lies, which is incentivizing people to act in ways antithetical to the existence of this country. I am not kidding. We are in an existential fight here if we allow this to continue. The media is lying to people on a daily basis to get them to do things antithetical to the existence of this country and the prosperity and very existence of your family. You doubt me? Why do they want these lockdowns to continue? Why do they want you to stay out of Florida and praise Andrew Cuomo from New York? Because they hate this president, they hate freedom and liberty, and they hate the conservative movement. They will do anything, including incentivizing you to succumb to a lockdown that will destroy your business and your family and potentially this country. They do it because they simply hate our party. There is no other explanation. You need further evidence? This is an NBC reporter. I'm going to show this tweet in a second. Carl Quintanilla, who I don't know, but he's got a pretty big, I know who he is from television, but I don't know him personally. He dared put up a tweet yesterday indicating that these lockdowns may not only not be working to quell the virus, but may be making it worse. This is an NBC reporter, not Bongino.com, not Fox, not someone who does fair and balanced. This is an NBC reporter. If you doubt me, go look up his Twitter profile and look at the responses from the liberals who are horrified that an NBC reporter dared to tell you the truth. They're upset about it, including other reporters and academics. Look at his tweet. At Carl Quintanilla. JP Morgan has a devastating piece arguing that infection rates have declined, not increased in states where lockdowns have ended. Quote, even after allowing for an appropriate measurement lag. Wait, am I reading that right? Yeah. I'm not. There's the. Why are you holding out? You don't want to. The audience. Paula's not putting me on the screen because she doesn't want to see the melt. She doesn't want you to see me losing my mind right now because I'm so pissed off this morning about the BS that you're being surrounded with and forced to drink from a sewage fire hose by these idiots. Finally, you get a guy who tells the truth on his Twitter account, an NBC guy. And ladies and gentlemen, just read the responses. Liberals are apoplectic. You're apoplectic that as the lockdowns, which have destroyed people's lives, have ended, infections have gone down. So what are you arguing for? More economic destruction and more deaths? That's your campaign slogan? Liberals 2020, more destruction, more deaths, more destruction, more deaths. This is your campaign slogan? Joey Bag of Donuts for governor, more destruction, more death. What are you arguing for? You're upset at a study showing these lockdowns have done nothing? Matter of fact, where they've lifted the lockdowns, infections have gone down, and you're mad? What kind of a psycho-sociopath blanker are you? Are you insane? I'm not kidding. Are you nuts? Do you have are you a serial killer? What is wrong with you? Do you have kids? You want your kids to go out and be bankrupted and to potentially die from a disease? To what? To prove Trump wrong? This is sick. We're living with sick people. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always been a guy saying, I even had a PAC once, Seed No Ground, thinking there really was a point in the future where there could be a peaceful rapprochement and we'd have wings of the party, but generally a consensus in the middle about America's greatness. And although we disagree on some level of taxation and things like that, we'd all agree that the country's interests come first. I'm done with that. I'm very sorry. I'm done with that. That was naive. because I'm telling you the axiomatic truth here. And the reason I'm so angry at liberals, which seems counter to what I'm going to tell you, but it's true. The reason I feel this way about liberals is because we tried to argue with liberals on ideas. We've tried desperately on this show. Argue about the Laffer curve, tax rates, the information and the data about government-run healthcare versus individually controlled healthcare, the data on school choice. They're not interested. They just hate you to the point where they will bankrupt you and tell you to die in order to win an argument. We think liberals are people with bad ideas. They think we are bad people with ideas. That's it. Cover of the New York Post today. Finally, speaking truth to power. For those of you listening on audio, this is the cover of the New York Post. They're quoting a columnist. The Big Apple is dying. I grew up here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sin what's happening. The Big Apple is dying. Its streets are empty. Tens of thousands have been plunged into poverty. Our leaders have no plans, no answers, and New Yorkers have already learned to socially distance. Businesses can adjust. The elderly and infirm can continue to be isolated. It needs to end now, period. Thank you, New York Post, David Marcus, for finally putting that on the cover. I don't even know David Marcus. It's over. End this lockdown, and I can't encourage you in strong enough terms. Civil disobedience is the only path forward if they won't do it. These people work for us. They work for us. They're public servants, servants of the public. We don't work for them. It's not a tyranny. It's not a monarchy. It's not an oligarchy. It's time to stand up. I've been there. I left my job. I left my pension. I ran for office. I did my best. It didn't work out. I have been there. I've taken on the battle scars. I nearly went bankrupt doing it. I'm not trying to impress you. I don't need anybody's accolades. It's not about self-praise. It's only meant to establish bona fides that I'm not speaking with forked tongue. It is time for people to stand up. It is time for businesses on blocks to organize and get together and say, we're all opening up. They can't come for all of us at once. We outnumber them tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands to one. It's our time. It's our country. This is over because we say it's over, because they work for us. Consent has been revoked. Consent of the governed matters. You no longer have it. You want people to die and be bankrupted because what? You want to win an election, you sick slobs? They can't help themselves, folks. I saw a tweet by CBS about Trump taking hydroxychloroquine. The tweet suggesting Trump is stopping the hydroxychloroquine after massive heat came down on Trump. That has nothing to do with it. He was on a 2-week cycle of the drug based on possible exposure that ends in 2 days. They're lying to you about everything. You know, I'm going to leave it at this because there's a lot more going on, and forgive me, but this is time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Consent has been revoked. It's revoked. You no longer have it. These people work for us, and it's time to show them that again. You know, I had a AP history teacher in high school who was kind of a liberal, but was a nice guy, and I learned a lot from him. Just retired, as a matter of fact. And he brought up the point to me that you'll never have a lot of mass civil disobedience in this country as long as there's a middle class because they have too much to lose. I'm asking the so-called public servants with the dreaded air quotes because you only serve yourselves, you greedy lion slobs and snakes, you filth. How long do you think this is going to continue? How long? You're already seeing civil disobedience percolate. As the middle class disappears because you wiped them out with your economic lockdowns based on no science at all, none. Matter of fact, based on counter science. Places lifting lockdowns now, we're seeing less infections. How long do you think this is going to continue? If you don't have a middle class and all you have is poverty and people all of a sudden have nothing to lose, how long do you think it is before they take to the streets and you see civil disobedience on a mass scale, showing you who's really in charge? That middle class is your only buffer. It is that thin crust on a volcano. Don't crack that crust. Been warning you on this show for weeks, and we're getting there.